Happy Sunday, guys. Welcome back to MTN's Sunday Roast. So, today I'm actually going to talk to you guys about, my name's Heather. You all know me, I'm like the only girl in MTN. Tell a lie, we've got Emma as well, but she's not an actual coach. But, is that moving? I'm going to talk to you guys about different training styles. So I'm going to talk to you about different training styles and why finding your own thing and finding the thing that you're passionate about is very important, and when you do find that, it makes it a whole lot easier. So, or makes anything a whole lot easier. So I'll always, and I've said this time and time again, and I've said it in other podcasts about how I'll always encourage people to lift weights not even because of the positive effect it has on your physique. Out with that, the positives it has on your mental health, your physical health, the effects it has on the longevity of your life, like all those kind of things, like all these positives. I always encourage folk to find a way to like it and to find a way to enjoy it. And most of you will know that I don't do traditional body, but I don't do. I can't speak today. Oh my god! I don't do traditional bodybuilding style training anymore, and that's not because, do you know what? Actually, when and if I do it, I still enjoy it. Like I still think I think probably partly because I just enjoy, and as well, see, because I know the benefits of it and why it's good to do it. I think when you have a better understanding of things, the reason why you do it or doing it becomes a lot easier. Anyway, that's probably another conversation. But so I do CrossFit, and like for anyone that doesn't know CrossFit, it's quite hard to explain it to here, is like, think of all the different sports there are, including weightlifting, and trying to have them all underneath one roof. So you've got weightlifting, you've got swimming, you've got running, you've got bodyweight exercises, you've got gymnastics. What else have you got? Like even cycling is part of it. Like there's just so many different things that you can do underneath CrossFit, which is really fun, and it does make it super interesting, and it makes it easy to do every week because you know you're coming up to you're usually doing something different every week, although you do have some consistencies in certain parts of your training. Anyway, I find that really enjoyable and I really like it, but there's other people that fucking hate it. There's some people that just don't like the sport, that don't like doing it, don't feel good after it, or don't feel good before it. Like there's some people that just don't enjoy it, which is fine. But then you've got things like bodybuilding that I used to do, which is fine. And I still actually quite enjoy it when I do it. Like there's just an aspect of it that's kind of missing for me, and I think it's more of like you get a bit more community and competitive side to CrossFit, which is fine. But bodybuilding's fine for most people, and most of my clients, that's the kind of training they do. Some do it from the gym, some do it from home. Some of the girls that I train from home, like they have such a good setup and like they really enjoy it. And then I've got some clients that do now do powerlifting. So Nicola, she's a really good example of someone who she'll still do like some of her sessions, parts of them are very bodybuilding style, focusing on building muscle and etc. But she is now competing in that sport, and she's just found something that she's really passionate about, and that passion that she's found there within that has now allowed her to like for her to do well in that, she needs to make sure that she's hitting her calories and achieving a protein goal and sleeping well and doing X, Y and Z to make sure she does well in that. And I think when anyone finds anything that they're passionate about, or it doesn't need to be a full sport, but it can just be like, for instance, my client Kelly, she trains from home, and her main goal right now is a fat loss goal. But just recently, actually, we spoke about it like 2 days ago, that she spoke about how she's really determined to become better at squatting. And that's something that she's been working on from the very beginning. From the very beginning, she couldn't even body weight squat her own weight, like her own body weight, to near parallel, and like she's now squatting like about 55 kilogram with weight, and she's got good depth and whatever, but she's so determined to get better at this. And that passion she has, even just for that one exercise, makes training a lot more easier for her, because she's got like she's determined, and it's a bit more enjoyable because she's like working on that one thing. And like when you find that, or when you, and people are like, I hate weightlifting and whatever, and I get that, like so many people are like that, but I think when you start to do it a bit more, and you start to learn why it's important, and then you've had a few weeks or a few months of getting into a better routine, and you start to achieve little things, like little goals that things that you maybe never have thought you'd be able to do, like a push-up or whatever, or a pull-up or whatever, and then you start to do them, and then you get a little bit better, and then you kind of, this little spark starts, and you're like, oh, I want to get better at that. And then it makes things a lot easier, because then you've got little goals that aren't maybe to do with weight loss or whatever, but like it's more, those goals have got more positive connotations to them, because it's about doing more or achieving more rather than being less of, which of course, like if your goal is fat loss or weight loss, then essentially you do need to there needs to be a decrease and there needs to be less of, but I think it's important to have a balance between the both. And when you find that passion within whatever training style that you do, it just makes things a lot more easier. Like even for like people that just do bodybuilding, right? If they were to go into every session and go, because bodybuilding is centered around your physique and how it looks, and that's essentially it. But if you were a bodybuilder and all you thought about was that I'm coming in here and I need to look a certain way in 24 weeks, you would be so bored. But if you're a bodybuilder and you, like most of my clients that do bodybuilding training, yeah, it is mostly about their physique and the physique change that we're aiming for, but within that they'll have little goals that they go, right, I can do an 8 kilogram deadlift, and so hopefully in 15 weeks I can do 100 kilogram deadlift for reps. And yeah, like they've still got their physique goal, but when they kind of find that passion for, oh, let's get a little bit stronger, it makes achieving their overall goal so much more easier. And whatever training style you do needs to be in alignment with your overall goal. So if your goal is to grow your glutes, then you doing 4 WODs a week isn't going to grow your glutes, because that's not what your training is focused around. So if you want to grow your glutes but you hate doing bodybuilding training, then those don't correlate very well. So there needs to be a change in either one of them. Or like if Nicola said to me that she wanted to get really strong, but she hated doing heavier sets and heavier lifts, then it doesn't make sense. Do you know? Usually when people are beginners and they have a goal, and usually the goal is a physique change, or they're not happy with something and whatever, so it's the coach's job or your job or whatever to then go, right, this is where people get it wrong as well, because people will go, I want to have a toned body, but all they'll do is cardio. Well, if you want to tone physique, then you need to build muscle, and sometimes people don't understand that. So that's where it's good where a coach steps in and go, look, if you want X, Y, Z, you're going to need to do all these things, and you might then do a training style that's in alignment with your goal. Once you achieve your goal then, and you've maybe got a passion for that training style, maybe you don't. Like, the more you enjoy the training style that you do, it makes your overall goal a lot easier to achieve, because you actually enjoy what you're doing. Like, I can never imagine training 5-6 times a week and not actually enjoying it. So see, if you really hate your style of training, then you're probably better off changing it. Thanks so much for listening, watching, both. Yeah, I hope you all have a nice week. Bye guys.